Annie Malone was the first female millionaire and creator of black hair care products. This video is brought to you by HYDRALOVE Naturals products, the only product line in the market designed to balance the moisture and protein levels in your hair. This will prevent breakage and promote length retention. Products are available at HYDRALOVENaturals.com. Be sure to use the coupon code HYDRALOVE at checkout for additional savings. Info is in the description box. Did you know that Annie Malone was one of the first in Missouri to own a Rolls Royce? By the 1920s, Malone's wealth was estimated at $14 million, $200 million today when adjusted for inflation. Did you know that Annie paid over $40,000 in taxes alone in 1926? Did you know that she owned a whole city block in Chicago? Did you know that her philanthropy was legendary? Did you know that Annie gave diamond rings for every 5 years of service to her employees? Did you even know that Annie gave cash rewards for savings accounts and home purchases? Did you know that Annie trained over 75,000 women entrepreneurs, including Madam C.J. Walker? For decades, many believed that Madam C.J. Walker was America's first black millionaire. But the achievement really belongs to a forgotten black woman who ran her beauty empire on King Drive for years before it crashed towards the end of her life. For decades, many have learned from history books and documentaries that Madam C.J. Walker was America's first female self-made millionaire, a businesswoman who amassed a fortune with her hair grooming empire for black women. However, today few know that Malone was actually the first female self-made millionaire, not Walker, who was a student of Malone's before she hit it big on her own. Fate brought the two together in St. Louis, and their lives would remain linked forever. It was Malone who used the straightening comb to build her fortune before Walker got a hold of it and turned it into a moneymaker for herself as well. Annie Minerva Turnbull Malone. She was born August 9, 1877. She was an African-American businesswoman, inventor, and philanthropist. She was one of the first African-American women to become a millionaire, or the first self-made millionaire. In the first 3 decades of the 20th century, she founded and developed a large, predominant commercial and educational enterprise centered on cosmetics for African-American women. Annie Minerva Turnbull was born in southern Illinois, the daughter of an enslaved African, Robert and Isabella Cook Turnbull. When her father went off to fight for the Union with the 1st Kentucky Cavalry in the Civil War, Isabella took the couple's children and escaped from Kentucky, a neutral border state that maintained slavery. After traveling down the Ohio River, she found refuge in Metropolis, Illinois. There, Annie Turnbull was later born, the 10th of 11 children. Malone's parents died when she was very, very young. Annie Turnbull was born on a farm near Metropolis in Massac County, Illinois. Orphaned at a young age, she attended a public school in Metropolis before moving in 1896 to live with her older sister Ada Moody in Peoria. There, Annie attended high school, taking particular interest in chemistry. However, due to frequent illness, Annie was forced to withdraw from classes. While out of school, Annie grew so fascinated with hair and hair care that she often practiced hairdressing with her sister. With expertise in both chemistry and hair care, Turnbull began to develop her own hair care products. At the time, many women used goose fat, heavy oils, soap, or bacon grease to straighten their curls, which damaged both the hair and their scalp. By the beginning of the 1900s, Turnbull moved with her older siblings to Lovejoy, known as Brooklyn, Illinois. While experimenting with hair and different hair care products, she developed and manufactured her own line of non-damaging hair straighteners, specific oils, and hair stimulant products for African American women. She named her new product Wonderful Hair Grower. To promote her new product, Turnbull sold the Wonderful Hair Grower in bottles from door to door. her products and sales began to revolutionize hair care methods for all African Americans. In 1902, Turnbull moved to a thriving city, St. Louis, where she and 3 hired assistants sold their hair care products from door to door. As part of her marketing, she gave away free treatments to attract even more customers. In 1902, she married Nelson Pope. The couple divorced in 1907. On April 28, 1914, Annie Turnbull married Aaron Eugene Malone, a former teacher and religious book salesman. Turnbull Malone, by then worth well over $1 million, built a 5-story multi-purpose facility. Due to the high demand of her product in St. Louis, Turnbull opened her first shop on 2223 Market Street in 1902. She also launched a wide advertising campaign in the black press, held news conferences, toured many southern states, and recruited many women who she trained to sell her products. Selling her products through press conferences and advertisements in the black press, Malone also conducted demonstrations in the black churches and black women's clubs. One of her selling agents, Sarah Breedlove Davis, who became known as Madam C.J. Walker when she set up her own business, operated in Denver, Colorado, until a disagreement led Walker to leave the company. Ms. Walker took the original Poro formula and created her own brand of it. As Malone's former protege, Walker moved to Indianapolis in 1910, where she would train some 40,000 Walker agents to grow her business. Walker developed similar products as her rival, but she would also be more business savvy and a marketing guru. Instead of the Great Wonderful Hair Grower, Walker would sell the Madam Walker's Wonderful Hair Grower. And whereas Malone took her product's name from an African word, Walker took it one step further and claimed that the ingredients in her hair products were of African origin. Walker also took the straightening comb and made the teeth whiter to produce straighter hair. As a result, sales sizzled. According to an article by prominent black Harvard professor Henry Louis Gates Jr., the article also stated that Walker added Madame in front of her name because it had a French catch to it, while defying many white people's tendency to refer to a black woman by their first names or worse as Auntie. This development was one of the reasons which led then Ms. Pope to copyright her products under the name Poro because of what she called fraudulent imitations and to discourage counterfeit versions. Poro was a combination of the married names of Annie Pope and her sister Laura Roberts. Malone also picked Poro because it is a West African word for an organization that's dedicated to discipline and enhancing the body physically. It fit well with Malone's belief that black women would feel better about themselves if they improved their self-image and beauty. Due to the growth of her business in 1910, Turnbull moved to a larger facility on 3100 Pine Street. In addition to a manufacturing plant, it contained facilities for a beauty college, which she named Poro College. The building included a manufacturing plant, a retail store where Poro products were sold, business offices, a 500-seat auditorium, dining and meeting rooms, a roof garden, dormitory, gymnasium, bakery, and chapel. It served the African American community as a center for religious and social functions. The college's curriculum addressed the whole student. Students were coached on personal style for work, on walking, talking, and a style of dress designed to maintain a solid persona. Poro College employed nearly 200 people in St. Louis. Through its school and franchise business, the college created jobs for almost 75,000 women in North and South America, Africa, and the Philippines. By the 1920s, Annie Turnbull Malone had become a multi-millionaire. In 1924, she paid income tax of nearly $40,000, reportedly the highest in Missouri. While extremely wealthy, Malone lived modestly, giving $25,000 to start the local black YMCA and $25,000 to the Howard University College of Medicine in Washington, D.C. It was then the largest private donation to Howard University's medical school. She also donated money to the St. Louis Colored Orphans Home, where she served as president on the board of directors from 1919 to 1943. With her help in 1922, the home brought a facility at 2612 Good Avenue, which was renamed the Annie Malone Drive in her honor. The orphan home is still located in the historic neighborhood. Upgraded and expanded, the facility was renamed in the entrepreneur's honor as the Annie Malone Children and Family Service Center. As well as funding many programs, Malone ensured that her employees, all African American, were paid well and given opportunities for advancement. Her business thrived until 1927 when her husband filed for divorce. Having served as president of the company, he demanded half the business value based on his claim that his contribution had been integral to the success of the company. The divorce suit forced Poro College into a court-ordered receivership. With support from her employees and powerful figures such as Mary McLeod Bethune, she negotiated a settlement of $200,000. This affirmed her as the sole owner of Poro College, and the divorce was granted. After the divorce, Turnbull Malone moved most of her business to Chicago's South Parkway, where she bought an entire city block. Despite its warm reception in Chicago, Malone's business never achieved the level of success it had when it was headquartered in St. Louis. While she traveled to expand her empire, she left the day-to-day affairs to unscrupulous managers who were either inexperienced or dishonest. Other lawsuits followed. In 1937, during the Great Depression, a former employee filed suit, also claiming credit for Poro's success. To raise money for the settlement, Turnbull Malone sold her St. Louis property. Although much reduced in size, her business continued to thrive. In January 1940, a fire destroyed Malone's mansion, causing $50,000 in damage, according to an article in The Defender. The next year, community leaders rushed to stop IRS agents as they were evicting Malone from two of her buildings after she failed to pay thousands of dollars in back taxes. By 1943, Malone owed $100,000 and a lien was placed on her buildings. After 8 years of fighting the feds, she lost Poro. The government took control of the business and sold it to pay off the massive debt. Both Poro College in St. Louis and the Poro Block in Chicago were subsequently demolished. Poro's beauty operators and their Poro clubs persisted. The last Poro College in Cincinnati is said to have closed in 1989. St. Louis has kept Malone's legacy alive. On May 20th, the city will host the 108th annual Annie Malone May Day Parade, a major fundraiser and popular event in St. Louis. It is the oldest black parade in the country and second largest after Chicago's Bud Biglicken Day Parade. The Annie Malone Children and Family Center, which Malone helped build in 1922, is still in operation. Once known as the Annie Malone Mansion, the building was at one time an orphanage for black children who were shunned by white families. There are also documents on Malone and her business on the website of the African American Museum of History and Culture in Washington, D.C. In 2002, the DuSable Museum of African American History hosted a 6-month-long exhibit entitled Annie Malone, Black Beauty Culture Pioneer and Millionaire. Malone was named an honorary member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority and was awarded an honorary degree from Howard University. On May 10, 1957, Annie Malone suffered a stroke and died at Chicago's Providence Hospital. Today she rests beneath the small, modest iron headstone that bears the inscription, Beauty Pioneer. Childless, she had bequeathed her business and remaining fortune to her niece and nephews. At the time of her death, her estate was valued at $100,000. We hope that you enjoyed hearing about Annie Malone. Did you know about her contributions to the beauty industry? Please comment below and let us know. Thank you so much for watching. Please click the subscribe button and the notification bell to see our latest videos. Peace and blessings.